Crafters, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and today I'm going to try to make my own paper pulp paste. Now, it's kind of a mixture between the two things that I've looked up so far on how to make paper pulp and how to make paper mache paste, but I'm going to mix the two because what I want is a toilet paper pulp. And I have no recipe for this, I'm just guessing. I'm just going to tear this all up and put it in the bowl. And then the paste was actually made with flour and glue, salt, and water, and that's about it. But I'm going to go ahead and fill this with just some regular old toilet paper. I don't know if this is, I don't even know what brand this is, Charmin something or other. Because, you know, once you fill this up and then you add the water, of course it's going to look like it's a lot less. But let's just start out with about that much. And the next thing you do is you add warm water, and all I did was use water from my kitchen tap. You put that in until it covers all of the paper, and that's it. And I'm just going ahead and as it's soaking up the water, I'm just going to keep tearing it. Alright, and then I guess you just let it sit for a while, and then you let it soak that up. And then eventually you squeeze the water out. But because I'm doing this as a kind of a tutorial and just an experiment with you, I'm not going to let it sit like overnight or any of that crazy stuff. We're going to take it out right away. Squeeze out all the water, most of it, and then just tear it apart here. And I guess you can use a blender and a mixer or a hand mixer or whatever you want. But I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to add some glue to mine. And I just have Elmer's Glue All. And they say to just add a bunch of glue. I may add a little bit of water back in, I'm not sure yet, but I'm just going to mix that up. Add a little bit of water with my hands. Pour just a little bit of water back in. My ultimate hope is that I can get this to stick together enough that I can kind of roll it out and make it into a sort of a paste, like I said, but I want to use it with my embossing folders. I want to see if I can get this to dry in a folder and then like create my own embellishments using that. So all I'm doing is just mashing it up and trying to make it into smaller pieces. And as I'm doing that, it's mixing the glue and it's soaking up the water. Now I guess if you decide to add flour to yours, make sure you add salt, because the salt will create, I don't know, some kind of reaction that will keep it from molding. So that is probably the best consistency I'm going to get without waiting any further. I'm going to grab an embossing folder. This one will do. I'm going to just put it all over this embossing folder. And just smash it in there. As I'm smashing, you can tell that there's still quite a bit of water in there. And I really want this to spread out. So I'm going to try to use this knife. If you let this sit overnight, I would be willing to bet it would create a really nice paste that you could actually smooth it out with. And if you didn't use the toilet paper, it wouldn't be as lumpy. You could use flour and it would really spread out kind of like a frosting dough. But I'm looking for something a little bit more substantial than that. So let's try this. And I need some paper towel, which I have here. So I'm just going to tear off a few sheets of this. So I want to close this up, and I'm going to use my brayer. And I'm going to brayer this in here. And as I do that, there's more of that water that's going to leak out the edges. I just want to make sure there's not a whole ton of water when I run it through my Cuttlebug because I don't want to wreck anything. So I'm trying to squeeze out a lot of the water first. You can already see that. I'll lift it up a bit. You can already see the pattern coming through on there. But yet it's not as thick, or it's not as thin as a piece of paper. It's got a real bulk to it, real bulkiness. I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and run this right through my Cuttlebug, and I'll be right back. Alright, this is what it looks like. I have not opened it up yet, but as you can tell, some of it came out the end, and a lot of water came out. So let's open it up and see what we got. Wow, look at the center. It really got deep. The outer edge is not as much, probably because it wasn't rolled out evenly. I got it off of the plate before it was dry, and the only way I could get it off was using my little cricket tool. And I just scraped it off, and it did break in a few places. And then I'm just using my heat gun to dry it a little bit further